What's the last thing you'd expect a grandmother to hide? In my case, it was the fact that mine could outplay half the internet. It started the day she asked my brother Milo to teach her how to play an FPS. She held the controller upside down at first and kept calling the analog stick the little steering wheel. It was adorable. Milo loved every second of teaching her. He even bragged to his friends that he was turning her into a gamer. But little things kept nagging at me. Some days she played like someone trying to read a foreign language. She'd shoot at the ground, forget which button made her jump, and ask the same questions she'd asked 2 hours earlier. Other days, when the game grew tense, her focus changed. Her eyes scanned the map before Milo even explained what was happening. She warned him about flanks he hadn't spotted yet. She pinged ammo he needed without hesitation. Once, she reacted to an enemy she couldn't have seen, then quickly pretended she had misclicked. It made no sense. How could someone forget how to switch weapons, then call out rotations like a seasoned player? Every visit began the same. How do I turn on the game again? She'd ask, turning the TV remote over in her hand. You don't change a channel, Milo would sigh. You select the HDMI input. Oh dear, I'll try to remember. She said that every single time. I almost convinced myself I was imagining everything. Then one afternoon proved I wasn't. Milo paused in the middle of a long match, holding his stomach, and said he needed a minute. He passed his controller to Grandma. Just run if someone shoots at me, he said. She nodded, sweet as always. And which button is run again? He pointed it out and hurried to the bathroom. At first she did nothing except hum. She held the controller loosely in her lap, looking harmless. Then an enemy squad appeared. His teammates fell instantly. Milo's character was the last one alive, trapped in a small corner of the map. The chaos on the screen didn't seem to bother her. She sat up straighter, tightened her grip, and her whole expression sharpened. She took over. Her aim was clean and steady. She sidestepped bullets with perfect timing, used abilities with sharp awareness, and ended the squad in a handful of seconds. She revived the team, tucked Milo's character back behind the same rock he'd chosen, then placed the controller on her knee again. By the time Milo returned, she was back to acting confused about which trigger did what. I stared at her, stunned. She smiled without looking at me, like she knew I had seen everything. Later that night, after dinner, I went to her room. I saw you, I told her. She closed her book without surprise. The squad on the ridge? She asked. You wiped them like it was nothing, I said. Why pretend you can't even find the jump button? They weren't that good, she replied. Just mid-level players. When I pressed her for the truth, she sighed, and the cheerfulness fell away for a moment. Milo's been lonely, she said. He doesn't talk about it, but I see it. His friends drifted away. Your parents work late. He sits alone most days unless we visit. She folded her hands, thinking before she continued. When he teaches me how to play, he lights up. He feels important. He feels needed. I don't want to take that away by showing him I already know more than he thinks. It hit me harder than I expected. She wasn't hiding her skill for attention. She was hiding it to give Milo something he'd lost, so I kept her secret. For weeks, I played along. I answered her fake questions. I held back laughter whenever Milo ran through the house shouting because he'd finally won a fight. I watched Grandma act like she had never touched a controller before, even though I knew she could dismantle an entire lobby if she wanted. It stayed our quiet understanding, until Milo invited a new friend over. A rude kid who laughed at Grandma's questions, snatched the controller out of her hands, and told Milo that teaching an old lady was a waste of time. I saw Grandma glance at me. Her expression changed to something calm and deliberate. That boy had no idea the lesson he was about to learn from someone he had completely underestimated.